Hi people, it's me Anja. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. I feel like the title of this video is very self-explanatory, so let's just get started. The first book on this list is called Hazel's Theory of Evolution. This story follows a young girl, Hazel, as her life turns upside down in her last year of middle school. This story is absolutely so good. It's middle grade contemporary and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the representation in this story. Hazel is a little ace. We love to see it. This story is absolutely so good. Hazel is such a well-developed, nuanced, lovely, wonderful, curious, misunderstood character, and I love her so much. I just loved hearing her voice come through the pages because she felt so realistic and so wonderful, and her internal struggles just felt so realistic and so well developed. I love her so much. This book was absolutely so good because I just really enjoyed Hazel as a character, and the plot was really intriguing as well. I just really enjoyed it, and the friend group in this story was so good and it was so wonderful. This book definitely deserves all of its hype and so much more because it's so lovely and so wonderful, and this book is absolutely so good. So with that, I highly recommend it. Next book on this list is called The Mighty Heart of Sunny St. James. This story is a middle grade contemporary story written by Ashely and I believe that this book is my favorite middle grade story by her, and it really solidifies my excitement and anticipation for Hazel in the Deep Blue Sea, which is one of my most anticipated 2021 releases, and I'm so excited to read it in May. But anyway, Sunny St. James is so wonderful and so lovely. This story follows Sunny St. James as she navigates heart surgery, emerging feelings for another girl, reconnections with her lost mom, and first kisses all at once for the first time. This story is absolutely so good. It is so lovely and it's so wonderful and it's so wholesome. The sapphic representation is so cute. I really enjoyed the relationship in this story because it was so wonderful. It was so wholesome and heartwarming and so lovely and fluffy. This story is absolutely so amazing and tremendous and just really good. Ashely does such a great job crafting these emotionally driven characters that you just fall for. You know what I mean? Sunny is such a wonderful, well-developed character, and so will all the other characters in this story. Like I said, the romance in the story was so fluffy and so wonderful and just so cute. This story deserves all its hype and so much more. This author is so good and her books deserve to be so celebrated. You know what I mean? Her middle grade books deserve just as much hype as her YA books. And like I said, I am so excited for Hazel in the Deep Blue Sea. I don't actually know if it's pronounced Blee or Bly, but anyway, Sunny St. James was absolutely so good, and it definitely deserves all of its hype and so much more. So with that, I highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Lillian Duncan. This story is a middle grade contemporary story that follows two characters, Lillian Duncan. Lily is a transgender girl, and Duncan is a boy dealing with bipolar disorder. This story was absolutely so good. I really enjoyed the two perspectives because both perspectives felt so distinct, and they both resulted in such well-developed characters, and I love their friendship so much. This book is absolutely so good, and it's kind of underrated, and for what? Because it's absolutely so good. I really enjoyed the representation in this story because it felt so real and realistic and well researched. You know what I mean? This story was so good. It's so wholesome and lovely and wonderful and fluffy, but it wasn't too fluffy that it became too cheesy. You know what I mean? This book is so good. I absolutely really enjoyed it. I remember just falling in love with these characters, with their perspectives, and just what they brought to life. This author is so talented. You know what I mean? This book is so good. I absolutely really enjoyed it, and with that, I highly recommend it because this book is so good. It's so good and it's so well done. So with that, I highly recommend it. Next book on this list is called P.S. I Miss You. This story was absolutely so good. It follows a young girl who's questioning her sexuality, and she's writing letters to her older sister who was sent away from their strict Catholic home after becoming pregnant. This story was absolutely so good. I don't read a whole lot of religious queer stories, but after reading this one, I feel like I should read more of them. You know what I mean? Because this book was absolutely so good. It was so wonderful and so lovely, and I know that there are so many religious queer people out there who deserve to have their story represented just as much as secular queer people. You know what I mean? Anyway, this story was so good. It was so lovely. It was so wonderful. The sapphic representation was done so well, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the letter format of this story because it really brought the story to life so much more. You know what I mean? I just really enjoyed this book. I know I just talked about how Lillian Duncan is kind of underrated, but this book is even more underrated, and it deserves so much more hype because it's absolutely so good. It was so wonderful and lovely and well developed. This story is just so good. It's absolutely so good. And with that, I highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Anna on the Edge. This story is a middle-grade contemporary story that follows a young envy protagonist navigating a binary world. This book felt so good. I just really enjoyed the representation in this story. You can really tell that this story is own voices because this book felt so good. You know what I mean? I can really tell that the author was writing from their heart because this story felt so good and so wholesome and so lovely and so wonderful and so realistic. I am so excited for the next book. I think it's coming out in October of this year. But anyway, I'm so excited because this book was so good. Anna is such a wonderful, well-developed protagonist, and I love reading from their perspective because their journey felt so realistic and so wonderful. This story was so good. I just absolutely fell in love with every single aspect and every single element of this story because it was just so good. If you didn't know, this book was one of my favorite books of last year, and that says a lot because I read 403 books in 2020. This book was absolutely so good, clearly because I can't stop talking about it. This book is so good. The representation felt so wonderful and so nuanced and so good. This book is so lovely and so wonderful, and obviously I really loved it because I can't stop talking about it. So with that, I highly recommend it. The next book on this list is another 2020 favorite, and it is Under Shifting Stars. This story was absolutely so good. It's middle-grade contemporary, and I really enjoyed it. It follows two younger siblings, one of them who's neurodivergent, and the other one who's gender fluid, as they grapple with the relationships with themselves and with each other after their brother's death. This story was absolutely so good. I really enjoyed the representation shown in both perspectives. Each perspective felt so distinct and so realistic and just so well researched and so well done. This story felt so wholesome and so wonderful. I really enjoyed their sibling relationship with each other because it was just so good. The story was absolutely so good. I know there's some controversy over this story, but I personally really enjoyed it. I just really enjoyed both perspectives and both characters because they felt so realistic and well researched and just so well developed, and the romances on both sides just felt so good and just so fluffy and so wonderful and so lovely. This story definitely exceeded my lower expectations, and it was just so good. It was so amazing, and I just really enjoyed it. And with that, I highly recommend it. So, in conclusion, all of these stories have such excellent representation, but even aside from that, they are such wonderful stories. So I highly recommend every single book on this list. And if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the kite emoji so so that I know that you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!